It's recording. Great. Hi, everyone. Welcome to, I've decided to call these solo episodes the rogue episodes because sometimes I just get so overwhelmed and excited about a topic or a theme or something I'm writing about or something I feel strongly about. I do a quick little studio session or chapter in my book, and I'm really enjoying that. So I wanted to share these thoughts with you. It is a chapter in my book. I don't know when my book's coming out. I thought maybe Mother's Day 2022. I was going to self-publish. That is the plan thus far still. And I've decided that I wanted to dig a little deeper into myself and my past and just make it even more meaningful and special. So there's nothing wrong with that. If I'm going to write a book, I want to do it right. So you only get one shot at your first book. Maybe that could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe you get several shots and edits. Anyway, I want it to be special. So this little segment, I guess, yeah, by the way, here you are at Color Me Happy, my podcast. My name is Randy Hofer. Thank you for being here. And, as I always say, giving me a little bit of your time, I appreciate it. Okay, so this little rogue episode is called You Are Enough. So I'm going to be reading, which is always fun because I always see things I want to adjust, because you can always say the same thing in so many different colorful ways, and as a creative it changes every time, right? Just like, here I go, Bob Dylan. People always get pissed off at his concerts because he doesn't sing the songs like he recorded it on the one album that they loved, or the way the radio played it a million times. But he's an artist and a creative, and he's super old. Like, does he even remember how he played at that time? That'd be like asking me to paint the same painting. Ain't gonna happen. Okay, welcome. Yay. You are enough. We hear every day, we hear be more, make more. We see it every day too. Do more, have more, more. The basic instinct of our human nature to acquire more. This is deeply ingrained in our biology. Basic survival skills and instincts in order to survive things like starvation or freezing to death. Gather more food to store for the winter, find the cave, build the hutch, have more wood to build your fire. At this point, most of us have far surpassed acquiring and fulfilling our basic needs. And yet, the pressures to be more cripples our souls little by little, devouring tiny bits of our self-esteem, fuels our anxieties like high-pressure steam, until we feel like the only thing left to do is implode from the inside out. It's all we hear and all we consume of every minute of every day. Be perfect, be smarter, be more successful, be the perfect partner. Practice makes perfect. Be the perfect parent. Have the perfect home. Live the perfect life. Have perfect skin. Be the perfect size. Everyone eats a shit sandwich for breakfast at some point or another, but all we see is their perfectly clean home, their fancy pasta dish on their designer countertop, with their cool couch and their trendy outfit, with their pumped up lips, and think, why isn't my life that perfect? Let me tell you. Everyone has a boatload of issues. Their dad sucked. They were bankrupt last year. They haven't spoken to their brother in years. They haven't made love to their partner in a year. They have low self-esteem. They work so much that they never get to see their kids, so on and so forth. Not one person is not drowning in the depths of their being. So let's cut out all the... Sorry. My autocorrect put bullshit. I don't even want to change that. I'm just going to leave it. Let's cut out all the bullshit. Now it's not an X-rated? Explicit? I don't know. I mark them all safe, even though I swear like a sailor. But not anymore. Let's cut out all the bullshit and stop perusing through the highlight reels of other people's lives and putting them up on this unattainable pedestal. I want to be a rock star and wear the coolest clothes and la la la. Really? Do you? Have you really thought about that really hard? Rock star. What it would be like to be like a famous person and all the stuff that goes on. I think it'd be a fucking nightmare. I've gone off track, clearly. But I honestly think it would be a nightmare. And I know this because I'm going to go to my notes because I know I'll repeat it. Some of the most unhappy individuals I have ever met, and I can't name them because I'm sure there's some weird contract that I signed that saying that I never met them or interacted with them in a negative way. And I don't want to put out negative energy either. But some of the most unhappy individuals that I've ever personally met and or worked with who were living this so-called dream of, rock stardom, yeah, they were not nice and definitely not happy or fulfilled. So yeah, that's a life I personally would never choose. For them, the balance is, the performance itself and connecting with others in that way. And I think, but at some point, maybe it's just not worth it anymore. And maybe that's why they're unhappy. Again, I've gone way off my notes. There's a big difference for me personally, and I'm sure for you as well, between fame and success. I reach out to people in order to succeed in what I do, which is so many things recently. It's not just creating artwork, but it's become, writing and podcasting, and I'm enjoying it in a weird way that I never expected. But one night I even I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but I just said I couldn't, but this isn't that bad. So I met with Arlene Dickinson. She's the Shark Tank woman and successful, extremely prolific businesswoman. She was kind, don't get me wrong, but she definitely didn't want to be there that night. And she confided in me that she absolutely hated any sort of thing like this. So here's a woman getting paid a whole lot of dough, and she wasn't enjoying it at all. I mean, really, there are perks and setbacks to any kind of work. Even obviously in the work I do, like I don't enjoy being on my computer so much, but here I am sitting in front of my computer, in front of my camera, and typing things all the time and editing. But and maybe that's her compromise in her line of work. But to any outsider, she had really hit the top. And obviously because people, like, we were stacked full that night. Like, there was tickets. People wanted the tickets. They were paying to get, a little glimpse at her life. And there she was, still doing the things that she loved along with the things that she didn't. I hope that she's filling her cup with more things she doesn't mind doing so much to this day, because she was a very nice woman. And yeah, it was a cool experience meeting her. And she was nice even though she didn't want to be there, which I can't say the same about some other people. Then there's good old jealousy. Jealousy that creeps in while we tap away on our devices. That's kind of the worst thing. But there is something about jealousy. If someone has something you admire and you feel jealous, use it. Jealousy can be good. It means that it is somewhere where you can see yourself, or something that you would like to attain and you haven't yet. It doesn't have to be such an ugly term or word. It just is, it's taking you on your way to where you meant to be. It's just the first little part of that, right? Hear me. Only you have the power to control this very moment of this very day. And it starts with a little of this. Shifting your perspective. And these things will just come to you. They will come because you will be more present. You will make more time for friends and loved ones, because when you make more time for that, you're happier, you're more fulfilled. do more outdoor activities. I know if I skip outside for a day, I am not cool. So I actually try to I love killing two birds with one. I don't love killing birds. I love the saying of killing two birds with one stone. Um, if I kill anything, I cry a lot by accident. Okay, sorry, back to it. I love running outside, so then I get outside and I exercise for the day because I know I get a little depressed and am not the nicest person if I don't do those two things. So I try to kill two birds with one stone. Have more grace for yourself and others. I want to put that in. Can I type it right now? How does everyone feel about that? Have more grace for yourself, but of course, and others, right? Important there. Tab there. Be a better listener. Be smarter by reading. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but you get what I'm saying. It probably is wrong, and be smart by reading. Be smarter. Whatever. Fuck it. Okay, be more successful at following your heart. Practicing is fun and makes better. That's my filling in for, I think it's just practice. Okay, I won't do any more editing whilst speaking. Practice self-care. Practice having a home filled with beautiful memories that bloom from the trials and tribulations of your daily life. I'm going to say that again because it's so important. Practice having a home filled with beautiful memories that bloom from the trials and tribulations of your everyday life. I think I threw an every in the second one, but still. When I was accepted into university in Halifax, I was, I don't know, early 20s. And I want to tell you the story about going when my dad, the nice story is when my mom took me, but the funny story is when my dad took me furniture shopping after my mom was there. He showed up later because they were separated. Yeah, they're definitely. Anyway, that's another story and a whole lot of podcasts. Okay, my dad took me shopping for a bed, and my partner was moving out later. I think this must have been the second year. Yeah, second year. I was already settled in. God, I don't even want to tell it. It's gross, but it's funny. Just like sums my dad up, like boundaries, like that you just don't want this advice from your dad. Okay, so my partner and now husband Carly was moving in with me, so I needed a new bed, and like it was a single bed, and it was the worst, and we slept on it for a year. I can't believe that now. I don't even like sharing a king size bed now. um, anyway, my dad came and we were like looking, and I'm like, I don't know, I didn't really have enough money for anything really. And he just kept pressing down on everything, and I was like, finally, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, we gotta check which one makes the least amount of noise when you bounce up and down on it. I was like, whoa, Dad, no. Okay, that's my gross dad story. Now I'll tell the nice mom story. So when I was accepted into university in Halifax across the country from my family, my mom flew with me to help me get settled in. Uh, it was a small little basement walk-in that had a 6-foot drop-down ceiling, which I'm sure it wasn't a code and not allowed to be any sort of living space, but it was cheap and my family didn't have a lot of money. I was there in Halifax paying for school on bar tips, scholarships, and a heaping amount of ever-amassing student loans. My mom took me to Walmart to get a few essentials for the kitchen in quotations, uh, bedroom space I was about to live in, thousands of miles from home. At the end of it all, it was running. What? Fuck. See, I didn't edit this. Okay, we were checking out of the till. Let me shorten that nice sentence. And it was all amounting to about $500. And even sharing that with you now makes my gut sink. It makes me feel, I just still feel terrible. I had like a throw blanket in there and a few other things that I really didn't need. Essentially, I just always really like decorating things. Like at Christmas, I would always decorate the tree by myself and wrap all the gifts in like matching wrapping paper and ribbon. And my mom was never into that. So, like, from 11 on, I decorated everything. And so um, now I hate it because I don't have time. And I did it since I was 11. And I could totally see why she didn't care to do it because she had 3 kids. And now I have 3 kids. And you just give less shits, I guess, right? Um, our tree is so sad. We set it up yesterday and like I'm like, no matching anything, just homemade ornaments only. Because I just think like the homemade, here I go off track again, that's okay. But the homemade ornaments, fuck the matching shit. Like the homemade ones are what memories are attached to. Those are what matter the most. Um, Been shattered one and balled everywhere, like because it said Gus on it and it was a special ornament. And yeah, have an ugly tree. Who cares, right? Because a decorated tree is meaningless next to like your Charlie Brown tree filled with memories over the years. Like we have 7 years of memories on that tree now. It's crazy, special. Okay, back to it. The $500 is way too much money for her. It was made way too much money for me. There we were, sweating in the Walmart lineup again. I always sweat. My brother and I went for dinner the other night in Edmonton, and it was my first time out in 3 years. I can't believe it. Yeah, away from my kids. First time, 24 hours, had to do it. And we talked about how we both sweat in the grocery store lineup with anxiety. Probably because for far too long in our lives, we didn't have enough money to pay for the food that went through the till. Anyway, it was too much money for my mom, along with what it had cost. I always cry when I talk about her. That makes sense. Along with what it cost her to fly there with me and pay for our meals out. But for some reason, she had decided it was worth it. I know it was too much money, too much monetarily to her, because when I applied for those student loans to get to this university, I had to apply with what my mom made yearly, and it was about $23,000. How she paid for anything raising us blows my mind still to this day. One night, about a month later, in Halifax, I just got to thinking about what she had done and why she did it and how much it meant to me. And I decided to write her a letter thanking her for everything she did and how much it meant to me that she had spent that time with me. I'll never forget that trip. And if she ever showed my brother or sister this letter, that she would pay for it. I always think that's funny now. Like, I was still young, so we still had that sibling thing going on. When mom passed away, she put together this big bin for me, and she left a bunch of notes on different things and saved some really meaningful things for each of my siblings and myself. When I went through it, I found the homemade card I had sent her from Halifax and the letter I'd written to her, and she had put a handwritten note at the bottom. She said, "Brandy, this letter meant so much to me at the time. These are the things that matter in this life. Being grateful, saying thank you to people, and helping others." I actually went through that bin tonight and I found her volunteer, director volunteer little thing at the hospital. Her job didn't pay much. She worked with people with developmental disabilities, and She didn't ever do anything for money. She did things because it helped others and it was the right thing to do. It made an impact, and not in like this showy way, but a more important way. And if someone needed help with their fence, or their husband was working long hours, or like anything, she was there. She helped her friends in ways where, if they were overwhelmed or a single parent, she was very special. Since I saw that note, and I haven't quite realized it, but I think I've been on this like self-made journey to live up to those words, because I mean, there's really nothing stronger than someone's outlook and reflection on life when that very day they write you that note and it could be their last. You don't need to be more. You're enough. You will be enough by the people you touch and the people you impact, not by the amount of followers or likes you have, not by the beautiful picture you can post. You are enough. I had to get that out. Thank you for being here as always. And yeah, phone up your mom or your grandma or whoever. It's important. And help others for sure. We have to step back sometimes and just. I love when people poke their head in when I'm talking to myself on my computer. Probably stops me from crying some more, so that's good. Um, Thanks for being here, and I have nothing else to say. That was enough, and hopefully meant something to you. Yeah, I hope it meant as much to you as it does to me. We'll chat soon, friend. Good night.